The story begins with 19-year-old Hinako, who has a passion for surfing. This girl was crazy about surfing, and because of this craziness, she takes admission in a university in a town, which is closest to the ocean. We can see in the reverse that Hinako takes her surfing board and sets out to surf. On the other side, we can see two boys named Minato and Wasabi, who were standing on the terrace of the fire station, and here Minato is watching Hinako surfing. Wasabi asks, "Do you know this girl?" Minato says, "Yes, she is my hero." Now we see that Hinako was at home and was preparing lunch. She didn't know how to cook at all, but still, she somehow manages to cook rice and eggs. Then when she was about to sit down to eat, her mom calls her. She asks her, did she unpack her stuff, and did she start going to the university? She replies, no, she hasn't done anything yet. We can see that all the things in her room were still unpacked. As soon as the phone hangs up, the boxes placed around Hinako fall on it. And this scene ends here. Now in the next scene, we can see Wasabi, who is doing his training. Yes, Wasabi and Minato are both firefighters. During Wasabi's training, he makes a mess which spills water everywhere. And the passing Hinako is thrown away. Wasabi immediately goes to him and apologizes to him. Hinako says, it's okay. I was surfing anyway. Hinako forgot the way to her house here. So Wasabi helps her by telling her the way to her house. Now at night, we can see that some naughty people were illegally launching fireworks. Because of this, the nearby Hinako building catches fire. As soon as the news of the fire is heard, the firefighters immediately go there to put out the fire. Before the fire spreads, all the people present in the building are brought down. And when a firefighter was checking the list here, then he finds out that a girl is left upstairs. We can see that the girl is Hinako, who is stuck upstairs, in the process of taking her phone, board, and purse. She doesn't understand what to do, so she goes upstairs to the terrace and shouts loudly, which catches the firefighters' attention. They immediately tell Wasabi and a man to go upstairs. But here, before Wasabi, Minato Cherry Picker reaches the terrace, and he rescues Hinako. On the other hand, we can see that the police had also caught those people who were lighting fireworks. Now Hinako was saying thank you to Minato, and here Minato tells him that he sees him surfing every day from the rooftop. On this, Hinako asks him to come with me instead of just watching. We both will surf together. With Minato's consent, the scene ends here. Now the next day we see that Wasabi was training, and he couldn't do much better, on which Minato tells him that one day he will do well in his work like him. He just has to keep trying. Saying this, Minato starts going, and Wasabi asks him, what's the matter? I am in a very good mood today. Minato replies that I am going surfing. And in the next scene, we can see Minato and Hinako going towards the Karmi beach. On the way, Hinako tells that she used to live in this town when she was a child. But due to the shift of her dad's business, the whole family shifted from here. But Hinako couldn't forget this place even after growing up. She applied for the university here, and then she shifted here again. So now they both reach the beach, and Hinako teaches Minato how to surf. In the beginning, but after practice, he starts knowing. After surfing, they both go to a cafe. Here, in the middle of the conversation, Hinako asks Minato, if I get into trouble again, will you come to save me? Minato replies, yes, I will always be there for you. So these two come very close to each other in a very short time. You can see how close they are. One of the reasons for this was that both were exactly the same. What Hinako likes, Minato likes too. So now in the next scene, we are shown that after getting into a relationship, Minato introduces Hinako to his sister, Gyoko, who calls them both madly in love and leaves. Actually, Yoko thinks this love is a stupid thing. So now after this, we are shown that today was Christmas Day, and Minato brings Hinako to a tower, which was specially decorated for couples. One feature of this tower is that if you have already booked a slot, then these tower people can send your message to your partners. So these two also spend a lot of time here. The scene shifts, and now these two have come out for camping. And at dinner time, Minato says, why don't I shift with you? Hinako says, I don't know, I haven't thought about it yet. And these days I have started depending on you a lot. So maybe this time is not right now. With this, the scene ends here. The scene shifts, and we see that Minato has come alone for surfing. And he tells this to Hinako by messaging her. After reading Minato's message, Hinako can't take it anymore. And she also reaches the beach. But there was a different scene at the beach. Police, ambulance, and rescue team had come. Yes, Minato had died while saving a jet skier from drowning. Minato's sudden death had completely disturbed Hinako. She decides that she will never surf again. And she also shifts to an apartment far from the beach. Yoko and Wasabi one day come to her house to give some of Minato's stuff. Minato's phone was also in this luggage. Here, from their talks, we come to know that Hinako is considering herself responsible for Minato's death, because she had told Minato that after a heavy snowstorm, the best waves are found to surf. And after surfing in this wave, one of your wishes can also be fulfilled. The day Minato died, there was a heavy snowstorm that day. Yoko says that whatever had to happen has happened. Stop blaming yourself and move on in life. So now in the next scene, we see that Hinako was trying to open Minato's phone. She wanted to know why Minato went surfing alone that day, because both always went together. Hinako tries a lot of passwords from her birthday date to the day of their first, but Minato's phone doesn't open. The scene shifts and now we see these three in a coffee shop, where Hinako starts crying again remembering Minato. And then a song called Brand New Story is played in the coffee shop. This song was both Hinako and Minato's favorite, and when the two were together, they used to hum this song. Hinako starts humming the song as usual, and then she sees Minato in the glass water. Hinako takes the glass in her hand and starts muttering Minato, Minato, on which Yoko tells her, "Look, you should accept that Minato is not coming back." Hearing Yoko's words, Hinako quietly leaves from there. Now in the next scene, we see that Hinako was in the washroom, and the same song was humming. And then she sees Minato again. When she tells her friends about this, they don't believe her at all, and they think that the girl has gone crazy in this shock. Now we are shown that Hinako is on a small bridge, and this time her plan was to record Minato, so that she can convince her friends. Hinako starts recording by singing. That's when her phone falls into the water, but Minato returns her phone to her. Seeing this, Hinako does not trust her eyes, and she herself falls into the water to test it again. But Minato saves her. Hinako says, "How is this happening?" Minato says, "I promised you that I will be with you in every difficulty." So now we see that Hinako was at home, and she asks Minato, how did he get stuck in this world? Did any of his wishes remain unfulfilled? Minato says, yes, maybe. Then he says to Hinako, have you shifted? But why? And did you stop surfing too? Hinako says that she remembers him while surfing. That's why she stopped surfing. Now Hinako asks Minato for his phone password and says, why did you go alone that day? Minato says that he just wanted to practice, to impress him. After that, Hinako carries Minato everywhere and takes him with her. And they spend a lot of time together again like before. But meanwhile, Minato realizes that he is with Hinako, but he can't touch her. Now in the next scene, we see that Wasabi comes to meet Yoko, and he tells her that Hinako is behaving very strangely. She takes a bottle with her everywhere, with which she talks. Actually, only Hinako could see Minato here. On this, Yoko says, how did you find out all this? Are you following him? But why? Wasabi says that he also likes Hinako. Actually, when Minato used to see Hinako from the rooftop, Wasabi was also present there. That's why he also starts liking Hinako. And when she became Minato's girlfriend, that's why he didn't tell her his feelings. Yoko says, look, if you love her, then go and tell her directly. So now Wasabi goes to Hinako and tells her his feelings. Knowing this, Hinako is completely shocked, and immediately goes to the washroom and tells all this to Minato. Minato says, Wasabi is a very good boy. It would be better if you move on with him, because I can't do anything for you. I can't even protect you. And if you stay with me, people will think you are crazy. So now we see that Hinako is coming to Wasabi. That's when an accident happens on the way. Hinako insists on saving the people in the truck, to which Wasabi says, we can't do anything. That's when Hinako starts singing, and Minato comes out of the water and extinguishes the fire in the truck. But by then it was too late. The person in the truck was dead, whose soul we can see going to heaven. And here Minato's soul also starts disappearing, to which Hinako tells Wasabi that Minato is going. Stop him. Wasabi controls him and says, look, I also accept that you can see Minato's spirit. But if you keep doing this, Minato will never be able to leave this world. He will be stuck here. Wasabi makes him realize that Minato used to call him his hero. But now look at yourself. What has happened to him? Hearing all this from Wasabi, Hinako runs away. And this scene ends here. Now in the next scene, we are shown that Hinako goes to meet Yoko at her house, where Yoko takes her to show her Minato's spirit. And here she also tells about an incident that happened in her childhood. So in childhood, Minato was about to drown in the ocean. But at that time, a little girl saved his life. After this incident, Minato had completely changed, and he wanted to spend his second life by helping others. He had the same motive behind becoming his fireman, that he can help others. Hearing this story, Hinako immediately reached her house, and she finds the article of that incident for which she got the award. Yes, actually Hinako was the one who saved Minato in his childhood. Hinako understands everything, and she can also open Minato's phone here, because Minato's phone password is the date of the day of the incident. Hinako goes to Minato's chat box, where she gets an unsent message, in which it was written that Minato's wish is that Hinako rides her waves herself. With this message, Minato meant that Hinako should become independent, because after coming into a relationship with Minato, Hinako started depending on him a lot, and Minato wanted him to depend on himself and do something meaningful in his life. After this, Hinako applies for a lifeguard job, so that he can help others. On the other hand, we can see that Yoko has gone to meet Wasabi. Wasabi tells him that he is doing a lot of hard training, but he can never become like Minato, because he doesn't have the same passion to help people as Minato had. On this, Yoko says, "Stop being like my brother and become like yourself." Saying this, Yoko also tells Wasabi her feelings, that she likes him. Now in the next scene, we are shown that Hinako again goes to Yoko, where Yoko hears some people talking about launching fireworks again, and then she starts following them. Yoko and Hinako follow the group and reach outside an abandoned building, where this group was going to do their business in that building. Hinako says that we should inform the police. On this, Yoko replies that we should at least have some proof. To prove this, then this group of people go on top of the building and start launching a lot of fireworks. And Yoko starts making their video. But suddenly there is a fire in a tree in the building, and the people of the group immediately run away from there. But Yoko and Hinako get stuck there. As soon as they get the news of the fire brigades also reach the spot. But extinguishing the fire was very difficult, because the fire had increased a lot. Yoko and Hinako were stuck upstairs. And that's when Hinako sings a song and calls Minato, which extinguishes the fire in a few seconds. And this time, Wasabi and Yoko can also see Minato, with whom he says the final goodbye. After both of them come down safely, a portal opens in the sky, in which Minato's soul leaves. Now in the next scene, we can see these three in a restaurant. Here these three were celebrating, because Hinako got the certificate of her lifeguard training. Wasabi and Yoko had become a couple, and Hinako was also doing better in her life than before. Now after dinner, these people come out, and Hinako suggests them to go to the same tower, because it is a very good spot for couples. After these two go, Hinako sings a song again near the fountain. But this time, Minato is not seen in the water. Then a message is read from the tower, which was for Hinako, from Minato. For this message, Minato had booked a slot last year. The message was that we will celebrate every Christmas together in the future. Hearing the message, Minato starts crying. And with this scene is cut here. In the last scene of the movie, we can see Hinako surfing along with the duty of a lifeguard. And with this movie ends here.